Never tell a dog he's fine. You can stay in here because now look what happens. Yeah, I hope you like that smell. Dun 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 dun. Energy. What it is, my YouTube family. Hope y'all enjoyed that little thing. Hope everybody's having a great day so far and enjoying your time, whatever you're doing, and being safe. That's important. Now, I'm sure y'all, well, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all have been waiting for this video right here. Yes, this video right here. I am going to start finally working on the Suzuki lt230. But first, I have to power wash it. Started to go over it, started messing with it a little bit last night and seeing it was just way too dirty. And I want you guys to see something partially clean so you can see in good detail what exactly I'm doing. So I'll show y'all a brief clip of it dirty, then I'm gonna pressure wash it and then get to work. So with that being said, enjoy. As y'all can see, those of you who don't know, I took the rear plastic off and also took the peg off right there, and I started to take the bolts around the clutch. Now, I don't recommend this, power washing it with the bolts out, because you will get water and your casing, but me, I'm replacing the clutch, so it's coming apart. So I'll be able to take it apart and redo everything, clean it all out, and put fresh oil in there. So this is what it looks like with work starting on it, but dirty. Now, I will clean it. And there you have it. The bike is power washed. Not looking that good. And people that know these bikes can see there's a good bit of parts missing. Alright, first thing you want to do, take this peg off. I already took it off, but there's two bolts right here. They're 14 millimeter. Take that off. Next, take this spring off, and behind this pin right here is a cotter pin. You're gonna pop that cotter pin out, take that spring out, and then your rear brake will come off. I thought you would have to take the cotter pin off, but it twists. So it was on there like that, took the spring off, pulled it off, now I can just twist it to the side. Next thing is all of these bolts around the clutch casing. Now, what I did, something my dad taught me, is I drew the clutch casing, so I know where every bolt goes. And the reason I did that is, if you look behind there, all of them bolts are different. Not all of them are different sizes. A lot of them are different sizes. And it's important to put the ones back where you got them from. So that's why I drew that, so I know exactly where each bolt goes. They were 8mm bolts. Now, my next thing is taking off these bolts right here. Now these are 10mm. And then this is for the little oil filter. It's important that you have something to catch this oil, or it's going to go everywhere. And save this gasket, because a lot of times you can still use this gasket. Put that down there to dry. Sometimes you can use this oil filter, but depending on how long you had it in there, it's probably good if you replace it. And I have a new one, so it's going to be replaced. Now, there's a bolt that is hiding in there. First, you just take your clutch lever thing out. This just twists and pops right out. Put that to the side. Now if you look up in there, let me turn the light on so you guys can see. Alright, now if you look right there in that right corner, that is another 8mm bolt. That must come out also in order for you to get this clutch casing off. Alright, now that that bolt is out, with a little bit of wiggling, this casing should pop right off. And what you're seeing bead up in there is water. That's why I said it's very important not to pressure wash your bike with bolts missing, because you will get water all inside here. And water and oil do not mix. That's the last thing you want to do. But I'm pulling it apart to get to this clutch basket that has to come out, and these clutches and clutch plates are inside. So all of these screws that are 8mm have to come off in order to get to the clutch. So let me pop them off and I will get back to you. Just like this. One at a time. It's a bolt, a washer, and the spring. And you got to put it back in exactly how you took it out. But as you can see, there's the spring There's the Bowden washer. Goes on top. One more thing that you have to take off before you can take this clutch basket off. Right here is a metal ring. If you can see, you have to take a screwdriver and pop that ring off. There we go. That's it. Now, you can take the clutch basket out. Take this plate off first. There you go. Set that down. And these discs, you want to try to pull them all out together, because for those of you that don't know, here's the clutch, and then here's a clutch plate. And these are kind of burnt. I didn't think that they would be that burnt. I'm gonna have to wipe them off and see how they look. I might have to replace these, but all I got soaking is these clutch discs, and they definitely are dark brown. You can see they're burnt, and they shouldn't be like that. I'll show you the new ones, but goes clutch, clutch disc, and you keep repeating that until you don't have any left. So let me take these discs out. Let me get my brand new ones, clean these plates, and hopefully I'll be able to use them again. Alright, this is what a brand new clutch looks like compared to a old one. As you can see, old, new. Try not to drip oil everywhere, but big difference. Somebody in the shop keeping me company, as always. Ain't that right, Brutus? Hey! I tell you what, learn from my mistakes, sorry. This water is everywhere, and I thought that I could dry it out, but I realized I'm not taking a lot of these gears and stuff off. So what I have to do now is use a woman's blow dryer, but hey, it works. Turn it on hot, turn it on high, and blow all of this water and oil out from this whole thing, so there's no water left in there. And then in these screw holes, I'm going to get Q-tips and stick in each one to make sure all the water is out of there. You don't want no water on the inside of here at all. So do not do what I did with pressure washing it with this case loose, so you can have the possibility of water getting inside here. Not a good idea. Learn from me. All right, got that all cleaned up now. All of the oil and water out of there. Looking good. Now, before we go back to installing the clutch, As you see, I put the clutch plates behind the actual clutch in the way that they're actually supposed to go. There's the clutch, and then here is a clutch plate. It's giving me a little trouble, but as you can see, and they go in order like that, and you put them back in the clutch basket just like that. But before you do that, the next step is, as you can see, there's the Q-tips in the aftermath of all of that yucky cleanup. That's why you don't want to do what I just did with pressure washing it with no very minimum bolts in there. But this old gasket has to come off. And I have this scraper right here. All of it's got to come off and get cleaned up. All of this gook stuff around it. The whole gasket has to come off and get cleaned up so the new one can go on and there won't be no leaks. Two o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you know what that means. I am going to call it quits for the night and get back to this in the morning time. So I'll get back to y'all then. Have a good night. What it is, my YouTube family, day number 2, back at it again. And this weather, boy oh boy, this weather, yeah. Don't like the rain at all. But anyway, I'm sure some of y'all are thinking, man, Tank, really? 2 days to do that? To the people that actually know what they're doing with this? Well, listen, you know, when you're a guy like me, you got a lot of stuff going on. So I didn't work on that all day, okay? So had to do some things, had to get some running around done, excuse me. And then on top of that, you know, other stuff pops up. So started at it late last night, but we're back at it again. And this is what it should look like when it's done. The main objective is to clean all of the grit off of the surface so your gasket can be flush up against the clutch case. Got the Q-tips to get inside the bolt holes and everything just to clean it all out good. I'm also going to spray WD-40 in it, hold it upside down just to make sure is there any little left particles in there. I make sure I try to get them out as best I can. I just want to take as much safety precautions as possible. So let me do that. Let me clean it up and let's get to putting the gasket on and mounting it. Also, I do want to recommend, don't do this on the kitchen counter unless you have your own place. But I recommend to anybody that doesn't, you don't want your parents fussing at you. I'm just warning you now. Also, the grease and everything isn't quite good and sanitary, if you get what I'm saying. Only reason I'm doing it is because I haven't completed my workbench yet, but I will shortly. So just learn from me, please. Look who is around me every step of the way. The big old gentle giant. Can't go nowhere without it. But if you guys are wondering, them yellow spots on his back, it's actually medicine that I put on him to actually hopefully clear up the bald spots from his skin condition that he had. I'm hoping that it actually works. This is what it is, if you guys are wondering. So, I mean, because if I was him, and I'm sure you guys can relate, if walking around with bald spots, you know, nobody wants to do that, especially a big, beautiful dog like this. Just thought it might be interesting for my young viewers to know what my little workshop looked like, to show them that it is hope, and it doesn't take much to get a nice content video going. The biggest thing is consistency and the willing to do it. But got a little forklift, yeah, with my light set up for it, you know, charger for my phone so my battery don't die. And yes, a cooler with the GoPro mount to hold it there. Some video for the side view so I can be hands-free. That's it. So there you see it. It's nothing professional here to do it. I believe in you guys. You want to do it? Put your mind to it and go do it. Don't let anybody or anything stop you. Now, with that being said, let me get to this gasket. The gasket is in here. Let me open it up and get right back to you guys. All right, y'all, once you got both of them cleaned up, looking something like that, then you put the gasket on. But I put a little thin layer of gasket sealant around here just so the gasket can stick to it, so you're not fighting it, adjusting it up and down, just making sure it sticks on there perfect when you go to hold it up there and mount it on there. Now the gasket sealer that I'm using is this high temperature, and it works great. So here's the gasket. That's the part number for it. Let me put it on there and then get back to y'all. All right, now it's time to install the clutch. I'm using the old clutch metal plates. They weren't warped, they were just a little burnt. That's why I'm reusing them. Hopefully I don't come back to regret it. Doesn't bite me in my butt. But as y'all can see, they were in there soaking really good. So now you just put them back in the same order that you took them out from, which is going to be clutch first. Then plate. And you repeat that order until you have them all back in there. Now that you have installed all of the clutch plates, now you want to put the cover back on. And if you can see that last line right there, that's actually where this metal retaining ring goes. So stick the cover back on. Push it tight. Pull this little pin out and stick that ring back down on there. Just like that. Then you want to put your spring and screws in. Get them all started. Now, these have to be torqued. I don't know the actual inch pounds that they need to be torqued. I've been working on all different types of motorcycles and stuff my whole life, so I got a kind of a good feel to it, but best results, you should follow what they call for with the torquing specs. Now, after you get all of them on there and tightened up a little bit, and you go into a pattern, and you don't do a full circle. You do a little cross pattern, and that's so you can equally keep the clutch in. So you would go here, tighten it up about 10 turns. Then I would go down here, tighten it up about 10 turns, and then up here, same thing. Then here, and you want to do that until it's tight, and then after it's tight, then you want to go and torque them all down. So let me do that and I'll get back to y'all. Time to install the cover. See how this gasket is stuck on there? That's why I like using the gasket seal. It's a lot less headache, that's all. You don't have to use it, but something that I prefer. Just like that, she's on. Now, it's time to install the bolts. Those of you that was wondering what type of clutch I used, I got all of these parts off of eBay. Alright? Now the clutch I used is a EBC heavy duty clutch. Alright. Then I got a tune-up kit with spark plugs. That's what the spark plug number is. And it also came with the little K&N oil filter that goes down in there that I will be installing, and 2 quarts of this type of oil. Don't know too much about this oil, but from the reviews and things that I've seen, it is a good oil. It came with 2 of these. Now, I already used one. That's what the clutch was actually soaking in. So, yes. Also got a Motions Pro clutch cable, because that one is all rotten and messed up. And there's that part number also, if you want it. Now, let me use my chart, install the bolts, and I'll be back. Okay, now that you got all of them tightened down, I meant to mention that I did tighten them scatter wise. What I mean by that, for those that don't know, is like I would screw that one in and then go down here and then up there and back there and keep doing that until they all get tight. But that evens the plate out instead of going all the way around. And certainly you don't want to do that. And I also use a little bit of blue Loctite on them. Next thing is putting this bolt back up in the inside over here where the oil filter is. Now, oil filter in the spring. Or does the spring go that way? Yeah, I think the spring goes on the outer part. Important to show you guys this. With these new Motion Pro ones, you get a longer, thicker heat shield around it. Goes from the bottom almost up to the top of it. And on the old ones, it's just from right here up to there. So I definitely like these new ones from Motion Pro. And to install it, pretty much take that nut off, make sure the bracket is facing this way, and you just slide the cable up underneath there, like that. Slide it on there, screw the nut back on there. Then you can mount it right there. Alright, after that's bolted down there, these aren't tight, just tighten them down a little bit, but you want to make that so you're able to wiggle it a little bit. Then you take this cable, that slit in there, put that in there, and that wire goes through that slit like that. Spin it around like that. Put it in till you hit the gear. You have to wiggle it around a little bit, and it should drop down in like that. And voila! Complete. Okay. Then all you have to do, fill it up with oil. I'm not sure how many quarts it actually takes, so Google it, but that's where the oil goes. And your clutch stall is complete. So there you have it. Hope you liked that video. Once again, thank you for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you guys are staying safe out there, quarantining with as less people as possible. Remember, stay positive, keep grinding hard, and always show your smile.